GlobeTrotter TV is a weekly half-hour lifestyle television show that features lots of adventures and cultures from around the world.
You're watching Access for All. My name is Arlene Makoko, your host, and joining us is Jon Haggins. He's the host of GlobeTrotter TV that airs on Channel 56 on Saturdays at 8 o'clock. And he's also an author of Yes, I Can, his memoir that talks about his life or looks at his life in the fashion industry. So we'll get into that in a moment. So if you could talk a little bit about GlobeTrotter TV, what do you like most about hosting this show?
Well, what I like is producing it rather than just hosting, because I'm hosting and producing, but I like the magic. It happens in terms of meeting people from around the world who are just so warm and so friendly and so inviting, and learning all about new cultures. And wherever you go, even if you repeat a destination, there are always new people to meet, new experiences. I always say there's another rock to be turned, and so that's very exciting.
That sounds great. And can you talk a little bit about some of these places that you've gone to visit?
Oh yeah, one of my favorites is Tunisia, North Africa, the Mediterranean, and where they have the best dates.
Oh,
I call them
wow.
the bestest. And someone said you should coin that phrase, the bestest,
yeah.
and seafood, because they're on the Mediterranean, and they have olive oil. And a third producer, I don't know whether you know that, in the world of olive oil.
Okay.
Because before, Italy would import the olive oil and slap their label on it, but it's illegal now. They can't do that. They have to say that it was produced in Tunisia, and it is superb. And one thing I've learned is on olive oil, when you go to the store, you should look for first cold press, especially with the harissa. I love food.
Really?
And then the olives and the tuna, and then have that with the bread, you know, to start the meal.
Ooh,
oh,
nice, nice.
It's so succulent, so delicious.
Well, what is it about cold press? And I know that it might be a food show instead of a travel show, but I'm just curious.
It's the fact that everything is compressed in a very cold temperature, or actually no heat is allowed, so that when they grind, and it's all just the grinding or the juices from the olives, there's no additives. And then later, after the first press and the second press, the third step is that they take the seeds and the shells and whatever, and they sell it to a refinery. Okay. And they add chemicals to it, and that's the other stuff you get. It's olive oil, but it's not the real thing, you know. And you really want the real thing.
Well, I'll tell you, I saw a little bit of your video on your trip to Tunisia, and it was superb. And
well, thank you.
Really got into the life, the day-to-day life of what it means to live in Tunisia. And
the history too.
Yeah,
you know, because
talk a little bit about what you did while you were there?
Well, there's a historical side. They have the most Roman ruins, I think, in the world, and because, you know, they occupied the Romans, the Venetians, and they became independent in 1956, the same time as Morocco. And it is just amazing to go through, and you see, going back to Carthage, you know, the 2nd century, going to the Roman baths, and seeing all of these extraordinary structures still standing, and you think, my God, and they have El Gym, which is the 3rd largest coliseum in the world. And it has, instead of those little bricks that you see in Rome, it has huge stones. It's amazing. I don't know how they put it up, but it's just amazing. And besides the history, you have the young people. They have a Miami Beach.
Is that right?
And it's where the young people come and they hang out. And the young people are very vital. And they are a great part of it. And family is very important in Tunisia. People are very connected with their family. That's something we don't have here. We need more of that. We used to have that in the South.
Yeah.
You know, where I came from.
Really?
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Sanford, Florida.
Really?
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And how did you get into travel? What really inspired you to begin to travel?
Well, I traveled as a child because relatives were all over Florida, so we'd go from one place to another. As an adult, young adult, my first trip was to Rio. It was carnival time, the best time of life.
Wow.
And I was like 22 years old, loved it. And I came back. And again, it was a part of the inspiration. Travel has always been an inspiration for my fashion life in terms of design, because I'd come back and the whole mood was about Bahia, or it was about Rio, or it was about Mexico, or wherever I was traveling. And that really made a difference. We did the tango 2 years before the other people on 7th Avenue did the tango in terms of a show, because I saw that and I said, my God, I have to go to Arthur Murray and learn how to tango. Wow. And so we did this whole thing.
GlobeTrotter TV is a weekly half-hour lifestyle television show that features lots of adventures and cultures from around the world.
Put your arms around me. I got a fever that's so hard to bear. Give him a fever when you kiss me. Fever when you hold me tight.
GlobeTrotter travels to every corner of the world and offers you the best experience of each destination, from the mountains to the deserts to the city to the sea.
Everybody's got the fever.
GlobeTrotter allows you an insight to many cultures and experiences. I promise you'll have the trip of a lifetime. Remember, get up, get out, and travel.
That's right.
We've done lots of African countries as well as India and the South Pacific and Asia and Europe. So we've been around, so to speak.
One thing I like about your show is that you're not always visiting the traditional places that people will go to visit. A lot of them are sort of out of the way. You just mentioned Botswana, for example.
Oh yeah, that was a glorious experience. I mean, we walked with the elephants, and I remember them putting the elephant's trunk on my head. And then we went out in the savannah, and there was this white tablecloth in the middle of nowhere, and this beautiful lunch that they prepared. And I thought, my God, this is like the Wizard of Oz. So I started talking about the Wizard of Oz. And the guide, who does not have television or radio or any of that stuff, he had no idea what I was talking about. Then someone began to explain Dorothy to him, and by then we were on the floor laughing. And then someone wanted to go to the bathroom, which was very funny. We were out in the savannah, and they said, well, over there, over there, over there. And she went behind the bush. Yeah. Suddenly she heard something rustling in the bush, and she ran out with her pants down, and we started laughing our heads off.
Give me a sense of what advice would you give someone who wants to travel to an exotic place like Botswana?
I think you have to go with an open mind and have a sense. Our slogan is get up, get out, and travel. The first thing I say, pack a sense of humor when you're traveling, so you can laugh at yourself and laugh with other people and at other people as well, so that there's a sense of humor and everybody understands it. I was just at a film festival in Tunisia, as a matter of fact, on another occasion, and I did this joke that I've done for 19 years. Suddenly I had all these new friends, and they said, oh, you must take my driver. The other one says, you must stay at my place in Paris. The other one says, no, you must stay at mine. I had 3 different people opting for me to stay at their place in Paris.
What type of research did someone do who wants to go to, let's say, I don't know, the South Pacific?
Oh, I love the South Pacific, yeah.
I'm trying to think of places that you're not going to go to,
like Bora Bora or Fiji.
You.
Well, they can go to the internet, which is filled with lots of information. If you're going on a cruise, the best thing I always say is not book your excursions through the ship. If you want to save money, you book it with a local, and then you go around and see local things. Experience where I was on the ship in Bora Bora and came back, and someone said, what did you do today? And I said, I hitchhiked. Like in Rio, for instance, I remember being out with a group of people, and they said, we're going back to the hotel. I said, bye. And I stayed out till like 4 in the morning, and then I said, Joaquim Nabuco, 130 Joaquim Nabuco. That's where I'd stayed at one point. I'd taken an apartment, so I said, let me walk down the street. I have memories. This is really great. And then I got to Ipanema, and I said, I've never taken a bus here. Let me get on the bus. I took the bus, got back, and everyone the next morning said, oh, we're worried about you. I said, I've been here a zillion times. And, they'll say, for instance, like Mexico City, they say dangerous. New York is dangerous. Someone emailed me once and said, don't send people to, Gibaldi Square, because that's where the mariachis come out, and, it's dangerous. I said, it wasn't dangerous. We went there. We saw the mariachis. We had dinner. Someone serenaded us. We had the best time of our life. People say, we're afraid of the food. I said, I could eat roadkill. Nothing bothers me. I eat food on the street. I was in Morocco, and I said to the driver, stop, I want to have some of those lamb chops. The guy goes whack, he throws it on the flame, and he serves it up, and I eat it. It's the best lamb chop I've ever had in my life.
Is there one place in particular that you just keep going back to, it's your favorite spot in the whole world?
Well, Rio, of course, and I think the other one is Tunisia. I was there for the Sahara Festival. I was there for the Djerba Festival. I was there for the I was there for the film festival. At this point, I'm going down the street into Zoa, which is a city which has 150 different types of dates, by the way. And what's amazing about that city is that as I was leaving, they said, goodbye, John. And how many black people walk down the street with a cameraman?
Exactly.
Everything about it is just so inviting. And you've got the beautiful sea, you've got the mountains, you've got the desert, you've got everything you want there. What else? You've got great spas, great food, great people. I mean, what else can you ask for?